Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. Today for Monday, let's take a look at a lesson that's assigned for morning prayer from the book Genesis. We're chapter 18, beginning at verse number 1. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them at the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch you a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on. And therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do, as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal kneaded, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a tender calf, and gave it unto the good man, and he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxen old shall I have pleasure, my Lord being also old? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child when I am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? The time appointed I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence, and looked towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. Okay, so this is an interesting story, lots of confusing things. First of all, it starts out, we're talking about Abraham, right? The Lord appears to him in the plains of Mamre, where his tent is, right? And he looks up and he sees 3 men stood by him. So it's the Lord, but it's 3 men. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them at the tent door, right? So then, but later on, it keeps bouncing from singular to plural. The Lord and the 3 of them. We and they. So it is interesting that we have this again, in hindsight, looking at the scriptures through the eyes of the Christian faith, knowing that this is all the Christian faith is fulfilled the Old Testament. What we see is an early image of the Trinity as well. But of course, we also hear this promise to God, from God to Abraham, that in fact Sarah will bear a son, even though they are beyond childbearing years. And this will be a recurring miracle, right? We know the story of Samuel, that his birth, as Hannah was prayed and was believed to be barren. We know Elizabeth was beyond childbearing years, and she conceived her son through natural generation with her husband Zacharias, conceived John the Baptist, and of course Jesus through the generation of the Holy Spirit, another miracle birth, right? So when God says, there's nothing that's too hard for God, that is 100% and absolutely true. And as we have at the beginning of this case and in the other cases, we have that includes conception. So today's Monday. We do have 12:15 Holy Communion, 4 o'clock evening prayer. I'm back from my travels. God willing, and the creek don't rise, we can see you at church, or you can watch on the live stream and join us there. And may God grant you a Monday that is full of blessings.